Sponsored by 666bet.com.
This is KUGAN CASSIUS for IFL TV in association with Macklin's Gym Marbella and 666bet. We're at the final press conference for Bad Blood this week. Well, Jeff, there wasn't much bad blood today.
Well, it was interesting that Frank Warren was able to announce that the last of the 18,500 tickets have been sold this morning. As a consequence, as Tyson Fury said, well, we don't need to do any trash talking now because the fight is now sold. And so we can read what we like into the previous exchanges, but they were promoting the event is now promoted, and they behave like perfect gentlemen, very courteous with each other, and they're ready to fight each other. As Derek said, we'll do the rocking and rolling on Saturday night in the ring.
Does this fight interest you?
Yes, it interests me a lot more than last Saturday's event, which I watched from China, where I was down to see Pacquiao fight, and I watched that with Bellew and Cleverly, which I never quite saw as an epic to begin with, and turned out to be not a very good fight. I think this is going to be livelier and will probably come to a more emphatic conclusion. Which is, in your opinion? I think Tyson Fury wins. I mean, Derek will put up a fitter effort than he did in their first fight. But then Fury's got himself in great shape for this as well. As we've seen, he's going to be down at about 17 stone. So they've both taken it seriously. So the little margins that Fury held in the first fight, I think, will hold sway again. But it will be competitive while it lasts.
If your prediction is to come true, where does DERECK CHISORA go from a defeat here?
That's an interesting question, but I've long held that we shouldn't regard a loss in a boxer's life as the end of the world. All the great fighters have lost, with the exception of Rocky Marciano, if you like, but Ali and Sugar Ray Robinson and Sugar Ray Leonard, they all lost fights, and it shouldn't be the end of the world. If it's a very good fight, somebody loses and comes back to fight another day. I don't see any problem with that. He can come back and recycle himself through the European titles while Tyson goes on, hopefully to meet with Vladimir Klitschko. And there's a lot of other heavyweights out there. There could be, for him, what the winner of Stiven and Wilder might regard as a warm-up fight for Klitschko, but which he'd be a very lively opponent for either of those. The door will not be closed to the loser of this fight.
Equally intriguing, in some people's eyes more intriguing, is the middleweight contest between Billy Joe Saunders and Chris Eubank Jr. Yes. It's been fun and games all the way through the build-up. Eubank only turned up to his first press conference for Billy Joe on Monday. Hasn't come to this one, which subsequently means that Billy Joe didn't come to this one. But why is this an interesting fight to you, Jeff?
Well, but because they're two live, good young fighters, which is good. It's nice to see fighters meeting each other when they're young, not just fighting stiffs until they eventually come to some grand event. And again, the loser's still very much active in the fight game. It's interesting too because Billy Joe has the experience and probably at the moment the more honed boxing skills. Eubank is tough and strong and unorthodox. It's a higher risk fight for Eubank because he's not been in with the same calibre of opponent as Saunders. But he'll come and make a big physical effort in this fight, and that makes it, with contrast of styles, will be good too.
What's your thoughts about the involvement of Eubank Senior in his son's career? Obviously, we know there's the natural link of father and son, but aside from that, what do you make of it all?
Well, he's clearly in his approach to the actual fighting, he's cast in his father's mould, and it would be unusual for someone who had such a charismatic father and such an unusual boxer for a father not to have some of that imprinted on him. I don't see anything wrong with that.
Okay. Well, listen, all these questions will be answered come Saturday night anyway, so fascinating. It's a great card in all, and like I said, maybe expect some fun and games at the weigh-in tomorrow. We never know.
We never know, but I think we'll have some good competitive fights Saturday night.
All right, Jeff Powell, thanks for talking to IFL TV, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Pleasure.
Thank you very much.